If you've been part of any recent conversation that's talking about the most anticipated game probably of 2022 yet, it is probably concerning around Elden Ring. Yours truly is also bought into the hype as well. I am mega excited for Elden Ring, at least I thought I was. But now come to find out, Elden Ring has a serious problem. And this is a huge buyer beware for so many reasons that we're going to cover in today's video. So let's just jump into it. Ladies and gentlemen, you have invaded my space and completely corrupted the LZ. So good to have you. And to give some context to today's conversation, recently it was discovered that all of the Dark Souls games have had an exploit that was recently found that can allow invaders of your Dark Souls game to essentially get into your computer and just mess with all of your stuff. It can be dangerous to your information, dangerous to your logins, and even dangerous to your machine. There's a little more to it than that, to be fair, so check the description for all of those details to get yourself educated. But essentially, you don't want to be playing any Dark Souls game on any platform online right now. Originally, it was thought that it was just the PC version of the game, but it's actually been discovered that it was consoles that are not safe either. So more on that here in a moment, but that's not really the point of the story today. The big point of the story is, other than the knowledge of that exploit existing, it was reported yesterday that not only does the exploit exist, Bandai Namco, who basically published the Dark Souls games, were aware of the exploit for years. Some excerpts from the article that I'll read to you now. Remember that Dark Souls exploit that caused a lot of trouble for PC users? Well, it turns out that Bandai Namco might have been aware of this issue for quite some time. According to a new report from VGC, multiple individuals have discovered the exploit as early as 2019. This means that Bandai Namco might have been aware of the issue for a long time. So, a repeat of the GOG Galaxy situation that also had similar issues. First off, an update on the current situation surrounding the PC versions of Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 3. As of writing of this article, Dark Souls PC servers have remained offline to fix the exploit. For those in need of a refresher, this exploit allows players to introduce malicious code into the user's PC through the game's invaders feature. One of the people behind the discovery of the vulnerability told VGC that they had made Bandai Namco aware of the issue over a month earlier as a common cybersecurity incident of the caliber. Neither the publisher nor developer FromSoft acted upon the warning until it was made public. Alarmingly, it also claimed that while they can't go into specifics as to avoid giving away the exploit details, the latest RCE could be used against players on consoles without the attacker needing a jailbreak in console. So we're obviously going to get into the implications of what some of this means here real soon, but more from the article around the anti-cheat software that Elden Ring is going to be using. Of course, we wouldn't be talking about this issue without explaining how it's going to affect the hotly anticipated title Elden Ring. They explain that Elden Ring will have the exact same problem. I've had the chance to see the code from the closed network test and can already tell you that there are lots of crashes and vulnerabilities in Elden Ring's code, the exact same ones as in Dark Souls 3, actually. So I suspect it's going to take 5 minutes for cheaters from Dark Souls 3 to port their scripts to Elden Ring and make release day a hellscape. Now, some users might bring up the fact that Elden Ring and the license agreement that comes along with it talks about the use of easy anti-cheat. The user gave some insight on this matter, citing that while easy anti-cheat will stop inexperienced cheaters, it won't stop people who have experience developing cheat tools. Additionally, should the player have some form of anti-cheat solution provided by the community, they risk getting their account banned by Bandai Namco themselves. Why is that? Well, it turns out that Bandai Namco heavily discourages using protection mods for their game. And if it's one thing that we know that Dark Souls users love to do, it is user-made mods for the Dark Souls games. Take it back, a decade ago or more or less, somewhere around there, when they released Dark Souls on PC, which was its first PC port in the franchise, and the port was a mess. It was at 30 FPS if I remember correctly. It ran at 720p. There was almost no customization involved. It took a single forum user called Durante to make an actual mod to get it working to a basic standard of PC gameplay then, which was at least like 1080p and maybe some anti-aliasing option running at a higher frame rate, right? So mods are not a new thing for the Dark Souls player base. They love them. So to summarize, the exploit was discovered years ago. Bandai Namco was tipped off, they did nothing, then recently someone blew the whistle, forcing them to shut down servers to all Souls games on PC. Console versions was seemingly unaffected, but now it turns out that they might still be, and worse, Elden Ring, which has gone gold and comes out in 3 weeks as of this writing, may have the same problem too. The difference is probably that on console, another player can't brick your console the way they can on PC. So I'm reading this off of Reset Era right now from the poster who put that there. So shout out to them and credit to where I found this. And oh boy, this is going to be an issue. So let's kind of break down the implications for what's happening here. First off, if Elden Ring launches with this problem, that's not good because we got 3 problems now, right? Or several problems there. We have an issue that FromSoftware and Bandai Namco already knew about and downplayed or just didn't address. It's an issue that exists over all of their games, including Elden Ring, which is literally coming in just a couple of weeks. And it's not just standard hacks that you hear about in the news today. It could literally affect users and their machines. It is disastrous. I also imagine that this could lead to lawsuits, class action lawsuits, things like that against them if this has truly affected people, right? And you know the internet. If somebody finds some kind of exploit that is popular and can really troll or ruin people's lives, I mean, Warzone hacks existed for like 2 years before they finally tried to rein that in. If folks know about it, they will do it. And so this is placing a lot of players at risk right now, and this is a terrible, terrible prospect. So I'm really wondering how Bandai Namco and FromSoftware are going to address this, right? It seems like for now, they really need to get some patches on all of these games and to like today, especially before they allow players to go back online. And if need be, this needs to be addressed for Elden Ring before launch, or the game should be delayed. Now, the game has already been delayed once or twice. If I remember correctly, it should have launched in the holiday season, if I remember. If it was like November or December sometime. They obviously booted it to 2022 to give it some more time in the oven, which, again, I will clap my hands together and say, delay more games, which is weird. It was not something that we were asking or begging for, like 3 years ago when we weren't in pandemic land. But if it launches in this state and it launches to just huge fanfare with hackers and things like that, it's going to just completely destroy the news cycle for Elden Ring, which is sad. I really want Elden Ring to be good. I love the Souls games. I think the only one that I've actually not played to completion was Sekiro, and that I think I didn't give that game a fair shot. So I need to revisit that. But all of the other ones I've completed and absolutely adored. And so they absolutely need to fix this. They can't just ignore this. If they need to push it to March or whatever to give them time to take out the exploit and patch it out or, work around it, I think that's a good idea. I know the Souls players in us, I know we're impatient, right? This is like a massive holiday for people who love FromSoftware games, particularly the Souls game. If you own a PS5 and you haven't played Demon Souls yet and you love the Souls games, you really, really need to get on there. It is just a phenomenal experience. My game of the year that year. But seriously, I think that this really needs to be pushed out of February if need be to address this. And they need to get some patches now on these legacy games, particularly on Steam. But I want to hear from you. Are you a Souls game enjoyer? Are you anticipating Elden Ring? Is this going to stop you from buying the game and playing it online if they even let you upon launch? Put that down in the comment section below. Once again, thanks for coming back to the LZ to hang out, and I'll see you in the next one.